It's been a solid year for Delta Airlines. The shares are up nearly 50% to double the gain in the S&P. The company is actually entering its 100th year now as well, facing plenty of competition, but also planning for its future. Here to discuss all that and more and much more is Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian. Ed, it's great to have you with us. CNBC's Phil LeBeau joining the discussion to help us guide things as well. And Sarat Sethi, of course, is also still with us. Ed, maybe you could just kick things off by talking about what you expect for 2025. The years of the Taylor Swift kind of revenge travel are over. Your shares have obviously reflected kind of a nice recovery in some of that. But what does next year hold?
Well, we live in the experience economy, and the experience economy is healthy and sound, as you mentioned, whether it's Taylor Swift concerts or going out to restaurants, finding new places to travel and explore. We saw over the Thanksgiving holiday our strongest travel we've ever seen. The Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of the Thanksgiving break were 3 of the 10 highest revenue days in our history.
Wow. With
Monday being the highest revenue day in our history by 20%. And so all of that's boding into a very strong holiday period, and we're seeing that in our bookings, and 25 looks really healthy.
By 20%, that's incredible.
Yeah. I believe that Monday was your highest day because I was at Newark Airport at 5:30 a.m. My son was getting on a Delta flight to Indianapolis, I believe, on that
My
day.
siblings won't come anymore because it's too busy.
Can I switch the gear just because it's on the top of my head? Mm-hmm. We had a tragic shooting of an executive last week in Manhattan, as you surely know. I wonder if and how that has changed what you do, how you are protected. You're a very public CEO. You've been very generous to come here on CNBC many times. People recognize you. Have you done anything differently, and how are you, your board, and others prioritizing security in a different way today?
Well, you could have been in our boardroom last week, Tyler. It was one of the topics of conversation with our board, and you're right. I'm very, very public. I don't intend to change that, but we have to be smart with what's going on. So I travel on our own airplanes. I don't have a private fleet. I don't have private security following me around. I don't have a driver. But all those questions now are coming up in terms of how do we protect our brand, protect me personally. And, you know, we're obviously not going to talk publicly about how we're going to do that, but it's top of mind, yeah.
Let's talk also then about computer security. You obviously had an activity, I guess you would say, a snafu during the summer. I realize that there is ongoing litigation here that would, sort of narrow what you can say. But how are you addressing the question of computer security, and how close is American critical infrastructure, whether it is the airlines or telecommunications businesses or other businesses, how close are we to a kind of doomsday event? Do you worry about that a lot?
Well, our dependence on technology and automation is like never before, and it can shut down businesses. It can shut down, and we've seen it.
As it did.
As it did for us.
To the tune of $500 million or something is
precisely during the busiest travel period of the summer. That matter, we're actually in litigation because we believe there is fault to be shared, and we're pursuing that with CrowdStrike, as you mentioned. But with respect to AI and the coming technologies of the future, it's really critical. And one of the challenges we have is that the critical infrastructure providers have their own security challenges. The technology providers themselves give us the software, but we cannot have the technology producers not incorporating the security needs into the product as compared, because there's always a rush to market, and speed is of the essence. We can't do it with the risk that we've seen in some of the technology.
Phil LeBeau is waiting on his perch somewhere out in the middle of the country, I assume. Phil, jump in.
Ed, good to see you. A quick question regarding the Consumer Electronics Show. You're going to be out in Las Vegas shortly after the new year as the show is taking place. This is not the first time you've gone out there. What is it about CES that you believe is so important for Delta expanding its brand beyond the core airline business?
Well, we've been given the opportunity, been invited to do the keynote for the Consumer Electronics Show, and we're doing that first week in January. CES is the biggest event that Vegas puts on all year long. It's a week of incredible innovation and excitement, whether it's electronics, whether it's new brands, new opportunities, and it's global. So we're going to be doing the keynote. We're doing the keynote from the Sphere. It's never been done before. And it also happens to be our 100th year next year. So first U.S. airline to hit 100 years. So we'll be launching that in the Sphere. It's going to be a 2-hour production that we're working on, and so it's not a normal presentation. Got a lot of great guests coming and a lot of partnerships that we'll be announcing and new opportunities. So the C of the CS is about the consumer, and that's who we are. We are a great consumer brand. We serve 200 million people a year. We're looking over the Christmas break from the Friday before Christmas to the Monday after New Year's, serving approximately 10 million people and doing it in great style with great experience. And so Delta needs to be in the center of a lot of consumer activity.